Hello and welcome to Global News Factory. I'm your host, Vikrant. We're covering two important topics today. First, I think Tomahawks have already been moved to Ukraine, and Trump is now eyeing to use them as leverage against Putin. This is going to be a very important story, so don't miss it. And then we discuss reports that say both China and India are looking to scale back imports of Russian oil. A fake campaign is being run by news agency Reuters. In this episode, we will throw light at the truth from Beijing and from Delhi. So let's start. Trump has already slammed the red button in everyone's head. The mood is Tomahawk now, talk later. The US Russia fight just went from loud shouting to plates flying. This is not a bar fight. This is the world's two biggest nuclear powers cracking their knuckles. And yes, it looks ugly. The war in Ukraine has significantly escalated over the past week. Let's take a look. First, Trump hit Russia's oil giants with new sanctions. Second, and it is very important, Vladimir Putin himself steps out. Not a spokesperson, not a general, the man himself. After a meeting in Moscow, he warns what happens if tomahawks hit Russian soil. His words are sharp and cold. I'm quoting, "This is an attempt at escalation," and then he doubles down. But if such weapons are used to strike Russian territory, the response will be very serious, if not downright staggering. Let them think about that. Unquote. Translation: touch my house and I flip the table. Third, Dmitry Medvedev comes in like a hammer. He says it is absolutely clear the US is Russia's enemy now. He calls Trump's recent Ukraine steps an act of war, and then he says Russia can smash Ukraine with many weapons without regard to unnecessary negotiations. That is gloves off. Why is Moscow heating up so fast? As I said, Putin himself stepping out is a signal that something big is happening behind the curtains. Now, we will closely take a look at some statements given by Trump and Zelensky, and then we will try to connect some dots as we usually do here on GNF. So, first of all, Trump. Trump says he is not sending tomahawks to Ukraine, but maybe the deal is already in the back pocket with Zelensky. Smile for the camera, sign behind the curtain. Classic magic trick. Right hand waves, left hand moves the coin. Now, listen to Trump's own words about tomahawks. I'm quoting him. The problem with the tomahawk is a lot of people don't know. It will take a minimum of 6 months, usually a year, to learn how to use. The only way a tomahawk is going to be shot is if we shot it. Unquote. Keep that number in your head. 6 months, he said. And then he says something else after Putin boasts that Russia is fine under sanctions. Watch this video now, and I request, try to connect the dots. Watch this.
President Putin basically said today that Russia is immune from U.S. sanctions. He said that it would not impact the Russian economy in any serious way. Is
good. I'm glad he feels that way. That's good. I'll let you know about it in 6 months from now. Okay, let's see how it all works out. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Again that clock, again that wink. Why 6 months? Maybe that is when the training ends. Maybe that is when the missiles fly. Maybe that is when practice mode turns into live fire. Tick tock. And that also means that training may have already begun. And that also means that US may already have shipped tomahawks to Ukraine. Now, let's shift our focus to Zelensky. This is what he said about tomahawks. Watch this.
We'll see. I don't know, really. Each day brings something. I don't know, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. We will have tomahawks. I don't know. I know. Thanks so much.
I think that makes it very clear Zelensky has some sort of confidence that Ukraine will indeed start firing tomahawks at Russia in coming months. He looks in good mood too. So this is not subtle now. This is an open threat wearing big boots. The US cannot easily crush Russia's energy with normal pressure. Sanctions have limits, markets bend, ships reroute, oil finds a buyer. What is left? Scare the other side with force. Say tomahawk loudly, make everyone hear it, make Moscow sweat. That is the play. Meanwhile, the US already shares targeting tips with Ukraine. Long range hits do not happen with vibes, they happen with coordinates. If US brains and US weapons both line up, then the line between helping and fighting gets very thin. And that is why Putin came out in person. That is why his voice carried steel. He is saying, do not cross the line. He is also saying, if you do, I will break the pen and the paper. Trump is playing a casino game with nuclear people at the next table. Big risk. He loves the headline, he loves the stare, but this is not a TV set. This is real sky and real steel, real people. The world does not need season 3 World War. The world needs cold heads and slow hands. Right now we have hot heads and fast fingers and a 6-month clock that keeps beeping. Moving on, the West is selling a story, a loud, shiny story. Russia is finished. Its oil is blocked. India and China are running away, they say. Nice headline, zero depth. This is not news. This is theater. Yes, US slapped sanctions on Russian firms, and then the Western media, they rushed in with a drum and a megaphone. India will cut Russian oil, they say. China will stop Russian oil, they claim. Big noise, no truth. Reuters even ran these lines. I'm quoting. India poised to sharply cut Russian oil imports. And about China, China state oil majors suspend Russian oil buys. Sounds scary, feels final, but look closer. It's all dressed up with sources say what they want. Reality says something else. Here is a simple test. If US shouts, does the world always listen? No. And China just proved it. Beijing has made its stand clear. It opposes unilateral sanctions without UN backing. That is a polite way of saying, your rules are not our rules. Translation, you cannot be the referee and the player at the same time. So the idea that China will march to Washington's drum, cute, not real. Now India. Every few months, the same rumor returns like a bad soap opera. India will stop buying Russian oil. Every time, those rumors collapse faster than a paper umbrella. India speaks less and does more. It buys what keeps the lights on and the wheels moving. This is not romance. This is energy math. Cheap barrels win elections, not lectures. Also, let's be honest, Reuters sources are not Indian policy. Delhi decides, not a headline factory. You want a picture? Look at this map. Look at the sea. Tankers are moving. Routes are busy. You see those green dots on the screen? Those are Russian tankers carrying oil to India as we speak. Markets don't listen to tweets. They listen to price. If Russian oil is cheaper and the terms are friendly, Indian refiners will not sit and cry. They will buy because fuel in the pump matters more than tantrums on TV. That is the rule. That is the game. And yes, I can confirm that India's importers, they have already placed orders for November. As we can see, Russia's oil trade is totally intact. And now to Putin. He called the sanctions, the American sanctions, unfriendly. He also said Russia's economy will survive and that the world needs Russian energy. That's true. Let me quote him. New sanctions will not significantly affect our economic well being. The US is trying to pressure Russia with new sanctions, but no self respecting country does anything under pressure. Unquote. Why Putin is so calm? Why is he so confident? Maybe because phones are ringing in Delhi and in Beijing. Because long contracts exist. Because refineries do not change feedstock like socks. Confidence is not magic, it is paperwork, pipelines, and partnerships. When the base is strong, noise cannot shake the building. Let's also talk about the Trump angle here. These headlines make Trump look like a giant. Sanctions scare everyone. Do they? Or is this just PR to paint him as the sheriff of the oil town? The West can write stories, India and China will write invoices. And that is all for now. I want to give you a small update though. I'm moving to a new place outside Delhi and the process has already begun. I shall now meet you on Sunday from the new place. So, Sunday onwards, you will start getting updates daily as usual. Thank you very much for joining. You're watching GNF.